Hey everyone, Mia Paulus here again. Welcome back to my channel. So why do so many businesses fail and how can you succeed? So it's no secret that many businesses do not even live to see their 5th birthday, let alone survive for the long haul. But why is this? Are there common mistakes entrepreneurs make that we can learn from? Are there any dependable frameworks we can use to scale our companies? In this video, I want to share my insights gained from over 15 years running and growing successful companies to help you not only survive, but thrive and prosper in any business environment. Let's begin. Okay, like I mentioned, nearly 1 in 5 businesses fail in the very first year. And businesses can falter for various reasons, including financial constraints, not having a product that people want, workforce or employment issues, not being able to hire. I mean, right now you see people can't find employees quick enough, like they can't create a culture where they want to stay either, or like business burnout. A lot of times you're like, man, this is way harder than I thought it would be, and I just can't do this anymore. And so if you're at any of those, I'm hoping in this video I can relight the fire that's in you, because it might not be your fault. It might be something that I'm going to talk about at the end of this video, of how you can diagnose better what is needed in your company. So first, I want to talk though about business burnout. How can we avoid that? So I want to talk a little bit how I started my company. So was really what inspired me to start my company. Is I got thrown in meeting with a bunch of businesses during tax season, and felt like they lost that spark and that fire that's in them. And I'm a very passionate visionary. I love entrepreneurship. I love what it's about. I love the game. I love the challenge. I love the trials that we go through to refine ourselves. I love the innovation, the creativity that happens, the problem solving. Like all of that just feeds my soul. If we make it to where a business is about improving people's lives, it can make a huge impact. And I've always believed that entrepreneurship is the grassroots way to really change the world. I'm not super happy about top-down approaches. I don't know if any of you are, but I believe, hey, if I can do the right thing, and if I can be a model of what other companies should be, if I can show, hey, this is how I hire employees and keep a good culture, and how we have a really awesome referral program, not like naturally happen because people like working here. So we get a lot of people referring their friends and family to work in our company. So it's gotten to where we have a really good employee referral culture now. And the thing is that I have hit so many roadblocks or slumps where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. And then you get through the next day, and then something happens where it's almost magical, where it kind of pulls you back out and like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. There's something here. I feel called to do this. And there's times, I'm not be wrong, like maybe you have a company and you should actually go get behind somebody else's vision. Maybe you thought you needed to be an entrepreneur, but you can actually find happiness working for somebody else. So if you're watching this too, avoiding business burnout could be more than just, I'm gonna stick it out for the long haul no matter what. Like it's not about that, but it's finding your purpose and what it is that makes you tick, who you are, what your purpose is in life. And I can't answer that question for you. Like you have to really go internal and intrinsic with you and be like, who is it that I'm supposed to be? So one of my favorite quotes, and this literally has gotten me through so much of my business and made it to where I really don't stress so much. I've looked at businesses about solving problems, and it's by The Road Less Traveled, a book in The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. And he says, life is difficult. This is a great truth. One of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters. The thing is, business is about solving problems. And the thing is, as business owners, many times we'd rather tell ourselves the story we want to hear and also put our head in the sand. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Okay, so we just talked about business burnout as one of the reasons why businesses fail, but I think that might be the symptom of a bigger problem. So but before I talk about that biggest reason I believe businesses fail, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. Again, we are all liars as entrepreneurs. We've gotten to where it's habitual, we're avoiding pain, and I'm all about exposing the things we all do as crazy entrepreneurs, and maybe we can figure out the patterns and be like, oh, that's why I do that. Oh, I need to change this. And that's okay. So give yourself permission, lean into the pain, lean into the troubles, and we're gonna hopefully, by the time we're done with this video, be able to show you a better way, and we realize that maybe it's not all my fault. I was given bad information. So in the comments, I would love for you to mention one lie you've told yourself in business, because I think it'll just say, you know what, I'm lying to myself about this. Again, give yourself permission, lean into the pain and say, I told myself this lie in my business. Okay, so the biggest thing is we are not diagnosing the problem correctly. And this is the biggest reason businesses fail. It's something I call the impact equation. And what I've done is I've taken all the different phases of business and I've put them into an equation. And I've said, okay, what are the most important things that companies need to do in these different phases? And we run into this trap where we think startup is a name and growth is the phase we start in. We don't start in a growth phase, we start in a startup phase. There's things we have to do. We have to create an idea for the product. We got to figure out who our dream customer is, what markets are they in. We got to validate the product before we even get to scaling and growing our company. And so we also, like I talked about, we need to know the foundational things in our company. What is our purpose, values, vision? We need to understand what intrinsically is making us do this company so we don't burn out. Because if we don't have that solid foundation, we're not going to be able to get through the hard times. But I can tell you, because I have a very solid meter on who I am, who I stand for, who my company stands for, I don't care who comes at me, who hates me, or any of that. Like, I know who I am and that's what matters. So again, going back, the biggest reason companies fail is because we're misdiagnosing. And it's because we're misdiagnosing what phase of business we're in. So I briefly talked about the startup phase. In the growth phase of business, again, you have pre-scale and scale phase. You got to start getting systems and process and more data in line. You need to start getting a team around you. You got to start doing more, building a bigger community, a bigger list, getting your growth strategies in line. There's so many things in those phases that you need to be aware of. But again, so you're starting to hopefully see that, I'm doing a lot of videos around this because I want to kind of hit this point home where, each phase is really different things need to happen. When you start to, hey, I got one core product successful, now I'm in the creative expansion phase. Okay, now I need to go expand my product or diversify my products. Like, there's things that you got to do. And so, man, once I started doing this, it simplified my business. It simplified the way I talk to businesses. It hopefully can simplify it for you. Like, oh, I've been told by so many experts that business is one size fits all. These solutions are one size fits all, and they're not. And so literally over the last 2 years, I've been designing different products to support different phases of business. And we've really launched one around the pre-scale phase. We do a lot in even the creative expansion phase, and we're working on some products for specifically for startups and those early phases as well, which I'm really excited about because that's like my passion is how do we help the startups where they're not, haven't learned bad habits yet, right? So any of us that are seasoned entrepreneurs, we've probably learned a few bad habits that we need to get rid of. And so hopefully this is our accountability matrix, right? This is our accountability equation. And at the end of the day, the reason why I call it impact equation, it's not, most business books will teach you about being successful in business. I always put more pressure on us as companies. I think we need to go a step further. We need to figure out how to get to a level of significance where we can give back more in the community, serve the employees that we work with at a higher level, serve the customers we work with at a higher level. Like, I want to get to where we're making an impact and we can actually elevate the human experience through business. So to wrap this up, we list a lot of times why businesses fail, right? I couldn't find employees. I didn't have product that somebody wanted. I wasn't willing to, I just got burnt out. I couldn't do it anymore. Like, we list a lot of the symptoms, but the thing is I think we've been lied to. Like, meaning we don't have a solid guide to help us. I bet if we put those failures into typical buckets, we will find like, oh, the reason why this business failed is because they thought it was this, but it really was because they didn't do these things, because this is the phase they're in. These are the things they should have focused on, but they thought it was this. And so again, if you want to go deeper with this on me, I'm kind of geeking out on this a lot. Like, this is my passion that I'm like hyper focused on, is I love trying to find patterns and things that correlate and things that work and take all these businesses that are struggling. So I would love in the comments, like, different patterns you're seeing, like with yourself or other companies you're working with. If you're a consultant, I would love to hear some of that data and that knowledge that you're experiencing. But if you want to hear kind of like my geeking out on it, I'm actually I put together a clinic around this where I call it Stress-Free Supergrowth. You can go to stressfreesupergrowth.com. We'll just kind of geek out together, go deep dive into it, and really get to the root problems of what we're all having. So again, go to stressfreesupergrowth.com.